Hello, my name is Sean Sang-won Park. I'm a prosthetic urologist practicing in Seoul, South Korea. Recently, I've been to US, Chicago, to attend the annual Urological Association meeting. Obviously, US has the biggest this urology meeting, annual meeting, and ever since I became a urologist, or I was training get a training as a urologist, I always had wished to present some sort of abstract or give a chance to give a talk in the AUA. This time, finally, my abstract was accepted. So the abstract that I got accepted this time was about subcoronal approach. Subcoronal approach for the IPP surgery is fairly new. It's less than, I believe, around 10 years. When it was first introduced, after about 3 or 4 years later, there was a study, a retrospective analysis study shows that subcoronal approach could be one of the risk factors for the glass necrosis. Glass necrosis is one of the most horrible complications we can expect after the IPP surgery, because when the gland is necrosed, half or total amputation of the penis is unavoidable. Then the patient will need a major reconstruction, major phalloplasty. Because of this study, those guys who are in my field, who is serious with these surgeries, they thought that subcoronal approach should be limited to the very limited cases, because it could potentially be disastrous. But when that paper was published, I already had more than 300 cases of experience of mine, which had no incidences like that. Actually, those cases with the glass necrosis and the subcoronal approach was only done to the major, I'll say, reconstructive methods like sliding techniques or cutting out the corpus or something like that. So all my cases was far from it. It's a so-called simple cases. Because of that, I kept doing it, and in this abstract, I had almost about 900 cases, 898. So I retrospectively analyzed it, and there was no glass necrosis nor the glass ischemia. I believe this is a very important, not a discovery, but a report to let the surgeons know that subcoronal approach could be applied without a big concern of the huge disastrous complications. But before the AUA's abstract presentation, I was invited to the Chicago University Urology department to give a talk about the subcoronal approach for inflatable penile prosthesis surgery. So they started a new course, full-day course for reconstructive urology issues like erectile dysfunction and artificial urinary sphincter for the male incontinence. It was a great course. Joining this kind of meeting is always a great joy, because prosthetic urologists, we are not that many. We are quite few all around the world. So great to meet with my colleagues, I would say, in my field. Especially in this AUA, we had a Wilson Cup Award ceremony was held. A Wilson Cup is an honor given to a prosthetic urologist who contributed a lot to our field. So this year's awardee was one of my mentor and my good friend, Paul Poiter in Miami. I mean, his contribution is not to be debated. Great fun. We poured some margarita, one of his favorite drinks based on tequila. So overall, it was a great trip. I was able to reconnect with my friends and re-educate myself, because that's a crucial part of being a medical practitioner. There are a lot of things to learn. There are still new things are coming up. So the only way we can keep it up is keep learning.